Hello, you're listening to NSG News, and this is NSG. We say NSG podcast, where we have Mama Sreku the fourth, Muffer traditional area queen mother, who we were privileged to host the other time at the peak of the VRA Spillage Devastation downstream of the Akosombo Dam. Mepe, Bator, Keta, all these areas are affected. Of course, NSG, we have been trying to reach the powers that be, and some are not available, some are not responding. As this conversation goes on, you will get to know those that are not responding to us. But Mama Sreku has agreed to come online again to give us an overview of what the conditions are, which we would at NSG will assume if that is what is going on in Mepe, whether good or bad, we will assume that is what the other communities are experiencing as well. So, you're welcome, Mama Sreku the fourth, to
Thank you.
NSG
I'm
News.
happy to be here once again.
And just to re-echo it, this is the hot seat where it's all about country and people. And we've been doing our best to be on top of this spillage and devastation. And, and anyone that will give us an insight to how Ghanaians are being helped in this matter, we would love to speak to them. And so we are very pleased and we appreciate your effort, irrespective of the pressure on you to reach out to as many as possible. You still get the time to speak to us to give an overview. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope I don't get bent on the hot seat.
No. The hot seat, it's hot, but um, we hope not to actually grill you as though you have done something wrong. But we've brought you here to try to understand at first hand, as an update from the previous time. You echoed your concerns that any help, support, relief items should not be politicized, neither should it become partisan issues. There should be transparency and clarity. So we would like to pick up from there. What is your general overview of proceedings as it stands since this devastation started?
The general overview is that the situation is not getting better. The water is not receding. It's rather getting thicker and darker, and it's developing a smell. It's getting acidic. And my fear is that we have a looming epidemic if things are not tackled well. We brought the government's attention to that, and we've not heard from them what the actions are going to be to prevent the looming epidemic. The health directorate of the district sent a message that they are not comfortable with what's going on, that we may need to be evacuated. They said it once, and that has not been said again. And my questions have not been answered in that regard. It seems to me as if they are not sure what they are going to do with that kind of information yet.
Right. That is quite interesting. Of course, NSG, the hot seat, we have our reservation about the whole proceedings. We are very confident we will come out with some perspective which calls to question VRA's action, because we believe strongly the dam didn't fill up overnight.
No.
And so why should the VRA wait at last minute and set people running, those who could run, and just open the dam? Those are engineers. Those are people we trust. But that will not be the center of conversation today. We will rather focus on the struggling, the challenges the people are facing. As said at the beginning of this conversation, any indication from a Bator community will suggest that is the experiences in Keta and all the other places where this devastation has gone. The interesting thing is that When NSG put out your concerns, there were some comments from Ghanaians that seems to suggest that they thought those living along the river did not leave a 60 yards mark. Can you give us? I knew, I believe, of course, I hosted you to the interview the
Yeah.
previous time, so you did
Yeah.
mention at least for Mepe, almost 50% of the township, and Mepe is not a small town, it's not a village, is consumed and is underwater. So this is not 60 years we are talking about. Can you say something in that respect?
Yes, I can. Indeed, when the spillage started, when it wasn't this bad, myself and a few gentlemen went round. And from the look of things, there's no building that did not observe the distance, how do they put it? The estimated distance they should have kept. I didn't see any building that is less than 60 meters close to the water. So that assertion cannot be true. Everybody has gone back enough.
So in effect, this devastation, it's not a matter of encroachment. It is
Not at
beyond
all.
encroachment, and actually the floods is because the amount of water released within the shortest possible time is the problem.
All right. I have to say that this, whatever it is, was avoidable. It's an avoidable disaster. It's not natural. It's just people that did not do their work right. Why do I say that? There was a simulation, like I said in the last interview, but we didn't know it was a simulation. Then when the real thing happened to evacuate, there was no transportation for the people. You're just ordered, move to higher ground, no transportation, no logistics, nothing. And so we think we have been taken for granted. VRA could have prevented this disaster, like you said. They didn't. They didn't provide transportation for people to move, and transporters took advantage of the people. And they want to turn around and blame it on us, but that is not the truth. Nobody is closer than 60 meters away from the water.
Right. Yes, NSG News, precisely the hot seat. Anyway, to the viewers, you're listening to the hot seat, um, the authoritative patriotic program for NSG News, Ghana and people. And we have online now Mama Sreku IV of Mepe traditional area. Um, we continue from where you are. Yes, of course, NSG, we are, it's our custom to try and read some of the comments because we want to know the mind of Ghanaians whenever we put any article or information out there. And yes, there are some of the comments that seems to suggest that they are trying to blame the people that live along the lake to have encroached on territories that potential spillage flood would have consumed. But the area view posted by Mahama, the former president of Ghana, on his website suggests that's not the case. And he even cited that he thinks that Ghana have to help with it's a multilateral partners to help alleviate any potential challenges that are going to come with this issue because this is not a 60 years issue.
That's right. So we, together with our MP Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa, are demanding that the government declares a state of emergency over our area. Like I said earlier, there's a looming epidemic. And unless that is done, nobody will really take us serious.
Anyway,
President visited us. It didn't seem like they are serious about anything as of the time they visited.
We'll go into that direction with this conversation. But anyway, talk of Ablakwa, the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablata, you mentioned him. NSG News, the hot seat, we are not satisfied with him. We are not happy with him because we believe we have his direct number. We have contacted him via WhatsApp. He has not responded. And it's rather unfortunately he's not forthcoming to give us any information. But it's good to hear from you that he's working with you. He's working with the community, trying to not that all his posts online, it's not just political. That's how we saw it. But from what you're saying, he's in the community and he's trying to do as much as he can. If you have his contact, let him know. NSG knew the hot seat. We are not pleased with the fact that he's refusing to respond, at least respond to our attempts to reach out to understand, because we believe we represent the people and the people want to know at first hand what is government's disposition. Anyway,
I'll contact him for you. Initially, he was avoiding us. Then we called him to order. We need to work together on this so the world does not see us as a disjointed community. Let them see us as a united front. So since then, I think since your interview, he came back to us, and now, to some extent, we are working together.
That's beautiful. I mean,
because we still have some reservations.
That's good to hear. And that's what it should be. This should not be a partisan issue. These are real human beings that are struggling and suffering. And I can say to you that we have contacts within some of these communities. And for instance, Mepe, one of the hotel managers is advised that Mepe is now infested with mosquitoes and the people are struggling.
Lots and lots of mosquitoes. Lots of mosquitoes.
That was not the case prior to the flood. So we are hopeful to get hold of this hotel manager to also see from the tourism part of things, because we do know that in Bator, Sogakope, all those areas, there are some very nice resorts that are built with the water as the attraction. We would like to understand what is the impact on those places, but let's stay with you for now. Now, relief items. VRA is posted they are working with NADMO to provide relief items for the people. What is your overview with this relief item? As we have said, whatever is coming from Mepe, Bator and the Town district, NSG, until we hear from any other district, because we are trying to reach them, they are not forthcoming. And so we will assume that is the outlook in all other districts. Ketu, Keta, Anglogan, Adan, and all those areas. That will be our assumption. We are not sure how it is looking as far as Pong, Japan, and all those places are as it stands. So we will use Mepe as Mepe, Bator, Town district as an indication to the people of Ghana how this devastation is and if any help is trickling down to the people. So tell us, VRA is put out there to say they have made relief items available working with NADMO for the people. How is that in Mepe, Bator, Town district?
That is true for Mepe, but their concentration is on the safe havens. Their concentration is only on safe havens, but we have homes that have not been taken over by water. And so a lot of people have moved in with relatives that have homes, and all those people have been sidelined. Everything that comes goes to the safe haven. We have called their attention to it. We met with NADMO yesterday. They have promised to henceforth contact us before distributing any aid.
Question.
As of today, we've not seen anything from them. We want to believe that nothing has come yet after yesterday's discussion.
And for our viewers, yesterday is referring to 18th of October 2023.
Yes, please.
And today we are 19th October 2023. This interview is being hosted and held 19th October 2023. Now, is there any form of registration or any account of people who are impacted by this activity to register so that there's a formal register? So whether they are at the the safe haven or not,
Safe haven.
they can still come with their registration numbers to say, okay, I need this, or this is what is being distributed among those affected, and they can queue up and get a whatever it is that is shared for them. Is there any formal official register for these people?
Yes, we are still registering people. That's
Okay.
from the Traditional Council and the Mepe Development Association side. NADMO has also told us they are doing some registration. They will share their data with us when they can. We are not depending on them because we don't want to need that data and not have it. So we are doing our own. We have 20 workers out there in the field collecting data
From the
names, phone numbers, locations, stuff like that.
That is Mepe Traditional Council
packaging the few things we have. Mepe Traditional Council
working together with the
yes, Mepe Development Association.
Talk about Mepe Development Association. The hot seat tried to reach the chairperson of Mepe Development Association. That has not been successful.
I'll make him available.
That would be very good.
For you. All our phones are off the hook nowadays. Getting someone on phone is very difficult. Everybody is calling.
Right.
To ask what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. So with the relief items, the concentration is on the safe haven. Is there any alleged allegations of malpractices, mismanagement, people diverting these relief items? Has anything come to your office as a report from the people in that?
Yes, the reports are coming, and that is because people come with things, they don't go through us, they just go to town and start sharing. You get my point? Without any proper order.
Yeah.
We have been collecting food, but so far it's only water we've shared because we have to make sure every day they have fresh water to drink so they don't be tempted to touch and clean water.
Right.
We are putting the food together, so once we launch out, a lot of people will get some food. So those complaints are coming from areas where people just drive in with their pickups and start sharing stuff and not knowing the town well. That's what's creating that confusion. And then again, NDC has been in town, got people to queue to share rice, and so by the time it got to some people's turn, it was finished, and people always complain.
But why would, as you put it, why would NDC officials come to town to share food without actually engaging with the official list to share food? This is not partisan exercise. This is people that are suffering. So if NDC decides to help, that's unacceptable. They have to go to the official center and just give it to the official to distribute. We don't have to allow this situation to become a campaign exercise. These are people suffering.
Yeah, we spoke with them this morning because they took pictures with us with the items and brought the items to us. Then the next day they came back for all the items to go and share. So we told them to go and announce to the people that their items are no longer with us because it was a lot of things.
The hot seat, NDC officials came, took photographs to suggest that they are working with you, and the community put it out there to suggest that they are the champions of the time, and only to go and do what they want to do. That's unacceptable. Look, we do NSG, the hot seat. We have informations that some Mepe people have even been displaced, and they are in Adidome.
They are all over the place.
So if this thing is not done properly, where it has become a competition between NDC and MPP, the people will suffer. And that's not right.
People would also bring some things.
No.
At least NDC brought it and distributed
whatever
it. Hasn't brought anything yet.
No, we need the traditional council, the paramount chief from all over the place, Ada, Angroga. You all have to be firm with this issue that they have to recognize the official centers. Whatever they are donating, and take the items there. It is unacceptable for them to take the items and go to town and share just to win the favors of the people. To the extent that that means there are people who are not displaced are going to get items at the expense of the people who are displaced. This is wrong.
Yeah, it is. But the honest truth is, a lot of people have lost businesses. They've not lost homes, but they've lost livelihoods. So some of them, even though they are at home, they still need help. But we know who is where. So if they had left the things for us, the distribution would have been smoother and easier. But they just came back for the things and went to share it anyhow. And there are people in town who have positioned themselves so well, knowing that people come to do that kind of distribution. So every time the people come, they get their share.
Right. It's good that there is some sort of the relief system in place, but from what we are hearing, the hot seat, we don't think this thing is being structured properly. And if it is not structured and the structure is not followed, the process is not followed, that means those who are in dire need of these things will struggle.
That is true. That is true. So we are putting together a proper structure. That's what I'm saying. All we've done now is share water. And it's been going on very well. But
Yes.
we want to structure the distribution of food in a way that nobody will be left out. So we are still putting together the structure. We are planning to set up distribution stations in every clan. And then with the data we have, use it to distribute the food. That is why we are waiting for the data collectors to come back from the field before we start distribution. We don't just want to rush out there and do things anyhow.
And this is your local arrangement. But if you put these structures in place and the clan level and all the areas of these communities, Bator, Mepe, Anglo, let's say all the chiefs in Anglo is doing the same thing. Japan, Bon, they are doing this and they've put in all these structures in place to help disseminate information as well as resources. And yet government officials will come. Groups, i.e. NDC, MPP representations will come and not recognize the depot where these things are to be deposited, so that the clan heads will go and allocate and say, we have 100 people in this clan displaced, we have 200 people here, and so these things can be appropriately managed. Then your exercise is going to be useless because everybody comes and drive a van or whatever. Of course, we saw the MP saying they have a mobile relief system. How true that is, of course, we've seen photographs from NSG on his page. How true that is, we don't know, but we believe it is true. And so I think we're calling on the government, the DCE, again. That brings to mind, we'll make this comment here on the hot seat. We've tried to reach the DCE. He responded to say he was going to get back to us, and we've not heard from him since. Yes, we do acknowledge that this pressure is a pressure, but not giving information to the people is not the way to go. So, Mr. DCE, the hot seat is still expecting your showing up on the hot seat to speak on behalf of the president and the government, because you are the representation of the government. Talk about mosquito and health issues. What are the other health concerns as the water is getting darker and thinner?
We're afraid we may get cholera, bilharzia, those waterborne diseases.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's what we fear.
And the Ministry of Health.
People are seeing some running stomach, some malaria, and some respiratory sicknesses. People are presenting with those.
And so, what the district health sector, any communication from them, any sort of center for people to visit?
Yes, they have put up sick bays at the safe havens.
Okay.
For us, but people have complained that they are not getting proper service from them. We've invited them to discuss with them. They haven't come yet. So when they come, we'll talk to them and ask them why they are not giving the service they set up to give. But a few days ago, they sent a warning that with the way the water is getting acidic, if we do not evacuate, things may get out of hand. And then the president came, and then that has been put on the back burner, and I'm not sure what they are doing yet. But when they respond to our call concerning the sick bay, we'll put this back to them.
We pray and hope that they are listening and they will do this, because this should not become, look, this is a planned exercise that has become a disaster. This is I think, as far as the hot seat is concerned, some heads at VRA should roll. That's how it should be. Some executives should be asked to proceed on leave, because this is unacceptable. That's the hot seat disposition.
Because sometimes I tend to think they are not taking us seriously. For instance, the day the president came, before he got there, we had to have some interaction with the ministerial committee and the VRA. So I was asking, what if it rains heavily again? How soon can we get information that you're spilling heavy water? How soon can you evacuate us before people get drowned? They played with the question a lot and then came out and said they have done their own calculations and it's not going to rain up north anymore. So they are certain.
How do they know this? Are they God? Are they nature? And they know it's not going to rain again?
I told them that is just hope. We can't hang on to hope.
That is
because the climate is changed all over. Sometimes you don't see clouds, it just starts to rain. So what is the plan? They didn't have any plan in stock for us. They couldn't answer that question. So in case something bad happens, they don't have any plan to take us out of it.
It's actually very...
I'm told by people, it seems like we're on our own to a very large extent. To a very large extent, we have to make our own decisions.
That's not the case. That should not be the case.
That people don't care about us.
That should not be the case.
But when we get the resources, exactly.
I see, this is why NSG, we don't want to put words in your mouth, the hot seat, but we're looking at these pictures, VRA, NADMO, the MP's page, and all those governmental officials, and we feel as though it is the usual political tick box exercise. But these are real lives you're talking about.
These are real lives, and they're making it seem like everything is okay with us. I go back to the day the president came again. He got there, his ministers, the DCEs, everybody just ran to him and started briefing him. So when he started to speak, he spoke as if everything was okay with us. When I got the chance, I told him, Mr. President, please don't listen to your employees. They are going to tell you what you want to hear. We are in the hot soup. Talk to us. He agreed that's what was going to happen. We haven't heard anything. Then there's a ministerial committee. I asked them, how soon can we, the traditional leaders, meet up with you for you to hear from us and we discuss the way forward? They said that, Mr. Obiamwa told me that the name is Interministerial Committee. That means it's only ministers that can do that and we cannot be part of it. They would go and work and bring us information. Then I got angry. What information are you bringing us? What do you know about what's happening to us?
What
information are you bringing us? And you are not talking about coming for information from us. You're going to bring us information on what? Then he said, okay, they would arrange to get information from us. But that day I came back empty. I came back. I planned in the morning not to go. My colleagues convinced me, okay, it doesn't matter. You just let's go. And I came back empty because I didn't get any hope at all from that interaction.
Thank you very much for this update. You're listening to NSG News, and this is the hot seat. And online with me is Mama Sreku IV, Mepe Traditional Area Queen Mother. Mama Sreku, I'd like to read a comment which is posted on VRA website to you, on their Facebook page 21 hours ago.
Okay.
VRA Emergency Preparedness Team, in collaboration with the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, distributed relief items to the following affected communities:
Okay.
Tomacover, Dofo, Adidome, Volo, Molikpo, Vugoji, Abotia, New Bakpa, Sogakope, Bator, Adidome. Items which were distributed include bags of rice, maize, gari, beans, sugar, mosquito coils, sachet of water, red oil, etc. Interesting enough, this Mepe is not in the list. A VRA medical team on grounds also carried out health education and screening exercise at I think they want to write Azizanya or I think Azizanya they want to write, and other communities. Hopefully, Mepe is the other communities they are referring to. The team, I'm pointing Mepe out because you are the Queen Mother of Mepe, and I'm reading this and your name is not there.
Yeah.
Now, the team donated medical supplies to 4 districts at North Town, South Town, Central Town, and Ada East. What is your comment to this? In brief.
I'm surprised they didn't mention us, and I have to be honest, because of how contaminated the water is. I don't go to the safe haven very often. But I promise to get more information on that. I can't say for sure they did or did not. I would not like to misinform your audience.
Very well. Very well. Now, before we go, at least you've given us an overview which we will use to suggest that North Town, South Town, Central Town, Adan East that they have cited on their website are in the same predicament as you.
Yes, only the case of Mepe is the worst. We are the worst hit. The others have minor issues, but the main problem is in Mepe.
Right.
So we demand extra attention.
Beautiful. We hope they are listening, and we'll try as much as possible that this gets to the officials and to the hearing of Ghanaians how the situations are, and to those that want to play this situation as though it's encroachment to the riverbank is the issue, should renew their mind about the situation, because there were videos going around which actually indicated that if there was any further spillage, even the Sogakofa bridge would have been underwater. That's how serious the situation is.
Last time I went to Sogakofa, the water is almost touching the bridge.
So this is not encroachment.
Almost touching the bridge,
Not only that, on VRA OWN's website or Facebook, they posted where they have to shut down one of their major substations in Sogakofa because of the flood. Is that encroachment? The question we want to ask from NSG point of view, having spoken to our technical know-how guys, how could VRA cite their major substation within the so-called 60 yards? Exactly. We don't think VRA cited that substation. We do not think that VRA cited that substation within 60 yards of the river. So those who are thinking that this devastation is people's encroachment should renew their mind, because VRA have to shut down their own substation because it was flooding, and they don't want electrocution and possibly a widespread outage because of the water having taken over the substation. So those out there, the NSG News, the hot seat, I am him, and I'm asking you, when VRA built that substation, it was a substation built after the dam. Did they not calculate the 60 yards? And is this substation not many miles away from the river, yet flooded? That should tell us the level of impact we are talking about. But anyway, before we go, yes, we'll throw it out to all the benevolent societies out there in Ghana and abroad that there's a devastation going on in Ghana as a result of a so-called planned water spillage, because the operational water head of the dam was getting to an emergency level. But this has become a disaster, man-made disaster. So calling on all companies, private sectors to help as much as they can. And having said that, NSG News, we've got an update from a company called Cool Off Treated Natural Mineral Water, who also donated some sachets of water to support victims of the dam spillage. So the NSG News, the hot seat, we say thank you, Cool Off Treated Natural Mineral Water. And we call on other private sectors to support the situation and help fellow Ghanaians as much as they can. Mama Sreku, before we go, what will be your call to government, to private sectors, and any NGOs that are out there that may not really, because of how this thing is being presented, may not really be on top of the level of devastation we are talking about, and any support that you will need from them?
Okay. Before that, I would like to say thank you to a few people. Myself, my own children, my sisters, my nieces and nephews, they've all come to support with whatever they could get. Then we had the Tanka Owners Union, the Christian Council, Yipi Church of Ghana, Apostolic Church of Ghana, Teskai Group of Companies, Madame Vanessa, all those people have come to bring us some things. Even Mohammed's running mate, Professor Nana Jenopokwa Jiman, was there yesterday to bring us a few items. I would like to acknowledge and thank them. I know I've not covered the whole list of everybody. A lot of people have brought us lots and lots of water. We haven't lacked drinking water since we started this exercise. I would like to especially acknowledge them and thank them. But like you know, in Mepe, our population is huge. You know that. Our population is huge. As of the last census, it was 14,700. But my estimate, we should be around 16,000 by now. So we need a lot of help to be able to feed our people. The hunger has not set in yet because the water is not drying anytime soon. People's farms have been washed. People's fish farms have been washed. People's businesses have sunk. I know 3 pure water companies in town. They are all underwater. So the owners can't afford what's going on, like food and stuff like that. They are just there. So we need a lot of help. We need food. We need toiletries. We need more water. We can never have enough water. We need mattresses. We need mosquito nets. We need mosquito coils. If anybody can offer to fumigate for us, we'll be very grateful. We plead with the NGOs, the companies, and anybody that has a heart. I know people are putting things together for us, and we pray that they get to us soon. That's my appeal to everybody. Don't forget to give us soap, oil, Dettol, stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Sreku. I did say that that would be your last comment, but I think I'm holding the toughest for the last.
No problem.
There is a video circulating of a comment made by our sitting president, Nana Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
You can comment and you can choose not to comment. NSG News, the hot seat, we have our reservation about that comment. A comment about not voting for and wouldn't have come, but he's come because they are Ghanaians. You are liberty to say what you want to say or not to say anything at all.
I will say something. I won't say I was happy about what he said, but I was there. In English or in language, we know there are tones, emphasis, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My view of that comment was that it was a joke.
Okay.
Yesterday they showed the video and all of us were laughing.
Yep.
So the press took that, and instead of concentrating on our plight, they were concentrating on that. Let's call it a bad joke. It didn't deserve the attention it was getting when we are in trouble. So I attempted to call their attention to it that, look, the trouble is on us. Where we are, we don't see our way yet. We don't even know what's happening tomorrow. We don't know whether VRA will be forced to spill. Can you bring your attention on us and leave that joke alone?
So,
and I expected that my people would support me in that call, but they only heard the part that made it seem as if Akufo-Addo was clean and I was MPP and all that. I'm not political.
see, this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem we have in Ghana. When you are addressing a fact, people labeled you. Identity politics and tribalism. That we have to get rid of. Of course, I ask you this question because that's how it sounds like to say the president is just making a joke to say, look, ideally, if it's got to do with voting, I shouldn't be here. But I'm a president. I belong to the people. You have a problem. I'm here. And so, no, that vote, no vote, I'm for you. But again, you see, this is our concern that we pray and hope that this serious issue affecting people, mosquitoes, potential diseases that are yet to sprang out of this dirty looking water will not be put aside whilst politicking begins. For instance, comments like this that should just say, because it's not like he's sitting in Accra saying this. He came, he was there, and then he made this joke. And so
and when he said it, we all cheered and laughed. Everybody cheered because he said it in a funny way.
Yes.
Right? That's what I was talking about.
And of course, the hot seat, we saw the video, and he giggled when he said it. So anyway, we just want to get your views on it because you are at the thick of the matters, and your opinion and comment on matters matters very well.
Over 24 hours, I was trending. MPP was loving me, NDC was hating me, and I'm in the middle. I don't care about any of them. I really don't. I only wanted attention on us.
Because that's what you need. People need you to to survive. And so, anyway, thank you very much for your time. We're still looking at the videos. They look very, very, very bad. And we are hopeful that these updates and these insights. And one final question is that we pray and hope. Again, you can decide to make comments on this, that we pray and hope that the officials are not diverting the relief items. That what is getting to the people is less than what is actually dispatched from source. Have you received any comments, any concerns from the people with respect to the fact that there's partisan politics going on and the items dispatched from depot are getting diverted somewhere?
I've not heard about any such accusation. The only accusation we have is, why is NDC distributing food and MPP people are there to collect it? But that's from the people.
Okay.
And we've requested to know how much has been allocated to us so we can monitor whether what is coming to us is worth how much they say is coming to us. Because you know how Ghana goes. They'll come and call a huge amount that we haven't seen, or we've not seen things worth that amount. So we are still demanding that we know how much has been allocated to take care of this disaster now and beyond. We still demand that.
That is a good call, and we pray that there's a true accountability and transparency. And as NSG have said, this is our comment. We think government should begin to have a committee, not committee per se, an inquest into how VRA arrived at this, with the possibility, because in some parts of the world, if this happens, the chief executive officer should resign with immediate effect. He and his executive committee, because NSG, the hot seat, we still maintain the fact that the dam did not fill up overnight.
No.
It was a gradual fill up.
This whole thing was avoidable.
And we believe that VRA have engineers that could have made the decision to take things on a steady and gradual level until it became an emergency.
A disaster, yeah.
Now, an emergency that has become a disaster. An emergency that has become a disaster, and now a lot of waste is going on. Money is going to places and things like that. But thank you very much. We've taken quite a lot of your time. And of course, we've left this interview, this chat, this conversation to take along as much as possible so you can throw more light on what is the condition, because we're going to use Mepe, Bator, North Town District as a case study with the with the suggestion or allegation from our point, the hot seat, that we are thinking that may be the case in the other areas as well, or the other districts that are impacted. And we pray and hope that all the agencies and all the private sectors that could help will help extensively for the any potential further disasters, diseases, and all the effects of displacement will not become the norm in these areas. Thank you, Mama Sreku, the fourth of Mepe traditional area, for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you means we will come again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'll give you updates anytime. I promise to get you more information from the safe havens, and you'll be better informed next time. Thank you too.
God bless you. Have a lovely evening. And to all listeners, this is the Hot Seat, NSG's authoritative patriotic channel for country and people. Make Ghana work, because Ghana can work. I'm your host, Im. Bye for now.